are many ways we can be turned aside, and some of the subtle ways are the most difficult to recognize. Yet they're just as deadly.
Oh.
And while Peter said the devil is walking about like a roaring lion seeking to devour someone, his methods are not always as obvious as a roaring lion. So Peter cautioned us, keep your senses, be watchful. Jesus emphasized this same danger also. And it's at Luke, the 21st chapter, verses 34 and 35. Now, here, Stella, would you like to read these two verses, please?
Sure.
Now, as you read it, remember, Jesus was talking to his disciples, that is, to us.
Okay. But pay attention to yourselves that your hearts never become weighed down with overeating and heavy drinking and anxieties of life, and suddenly that day be instantly upon you as a snare. For it will come in upon all those dwelling upon the face of the earth.
You'll notice Jesus didn't attribute bad things to his disciples. Eating and drinking are everyday necessities. Yet he warned us of a danger here. What is it?
Is that what you meant by getting complacent?
Exactly. That's what happened in Noah's day, and Jesus made that very comparison in connection with this warning we just read. Now, Luke's account doesn't show that, but the parallel account in Matthew does. Here, Owen, it might help to read it.
That's the 24th chapter of Matthew, isn't it?
Yes. Begin at verse 37, and, well, read a couple of verses.
Okay. Matthew 24:37. Here it is. For just as the days of Noah were, so the presence of the Son of Man will be. For as they were in those days before the flood, eating and drinking, men marrying and women being given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and they took no note until the flood came and swept them all away, so the presence of the Son of Man will be. That's through verse 39.
Good. Now, thank you. Now, the things Jesus mentioned were right and proper in themselves. So then, what was the wrong thing on the part of the people?
Jesus said they took no note. Does that mean of Noah's warning of the flood?
That's it. They became absorbed in these commonplace, everyday things and showed no faith in Noah's message from God. They wouldn't believe it, and they didn't take seriously Noah's faith in God's message, even backed up as it was by his building the ark. Now notice what Paul says at Hebrews 11, verse 7. By faith, Noah, after being given divine warning of things not yet beheld, showed godly fear and constructed an ark for the saving of his household. And through this faith he condemned the world, and he became an heir of the righteousness that is according to faith. So, taking no note of it, they lost out.
But, Brother Shepherd, faith has substance, doesn't it? I mean, it's an assured expectation, a conviction of the reality of things, even though unseen.
That's right, Owen. And yet Paul said Noah was, how does he say that? Here, after being given divine warning of things not yet beheld. What did he have way back there to base his faith on, to convince him of the reality of these things?
Oh, many things, Stella.
Could you tell us about it, Brother Shepherd?
And was it his faith that kept him safe through the flood?
Yes, that along with his works of faith. Paul said it was his constructing of the ark, prompted by godly fear, that worked to the saving of his household. So let's try to put ourselves back in his time period and see what strong faith Noah must have had.
disturbed, Noah. Is something wrong?
There's disturbing news in the city. Very disturbing.
What is it?
The people are saying that the sons of the true God have come down to earth.
You mean like the cherubs at the entrance to the Garden of Eden?
No. It's said they've taken human form and will live on earth.
Live on earth, but how do the people know they're the sons of God? Do you believe they are?
Yes, they've identified themselves and are demanding the daughters of men as wives. Some just taking them.
Marry humans? But that's unlawful in God's sight, isn't it?
They've forsaken their own proper dwelling place and are certain to come under God's judgment. And now, as regards the sons and daughters of men. But look, here are Hull and Ruhama. Welcome to our house, Hull. And you, Ruhama. May you have peace.
And you, Noah.
Please, Hull, take your rest here.
Have you heard the reports about the sons of the true God, Noah?
I just came from the city. The people speak of nothing else.
Well, what do you think? Is it good or bad?
Is it to angels that God has given the daughters of men? Or was it not of himself that Adam spoke when he said of the woman God gave him, "This is at last bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh"?
But they're the sons of the true God.
The one that does good is the one that originates with God. Remember Enoch's prophecy of God's execution of judgment, to convict all the ungodly concerning all their ungodly deeds that they did in an ungodly way.
Did I not say to you, Hull, that Noah would speak nothing but bad?
Quiet, Ruhama. Noah is the son of Lamech, and in the line of descent of Enoch, who was the prophet of the true God.
A prophet of the true God does the work of a prophet. But Lamech, Noah's father, said of him, "This one will bring us comfort from our work, and from the pain of our hands resulting from the ground which Jehovah has cursed." But what has Noah done to bring us comfort? He speaks only judgments and denunciations from God. He doesn't bring us rest.
But Ruhama, Noah speaks often of God's promise to restore mankind through the seed that he will bring forth. You go on speaking abusively of things you really don't know.
And your mouth keeps speaking swelling things while you go on admiring personalities for the sake of your own benefit. But where is Enoch with his prophecy of God's execution of judgment against all? Has he not been dead these many years? Though you yourself can remember when his father Jared died.
Enoch walked with the true God, Ruhama, and God took him before his natural time.
Perhaps the true God will take you too, Noah. Your preaching has disturbed the people all up and down the land, even as did Enoch's.
I can only speak what I know and what I've seen of God's dealings with men. Abel was a righteous man, and he found favor in God's eyes.
But he was killed for it, Noah.
Yes, by his brother Cain, whose works were wicked, and Cain came under God's judgment. Can those who have gone in the path of Cain receive less at the hand of God? These judgments of God serve as warning examples of...
I am the most blessed of all women. I have been chosen by one of the sons of God to be his wife. Think of it. Come, you must help me prepare. He will return to my father Bilah's house to claim me toward the beginning of evening. Come, please.
No, I cannot. This thing you're doing is not right.
Noah, tell her it's all right. I have no time to lose.
Listen to me, Bethiah. You've not yet been taken as wife. Trust in Jehovah and resist this angel from heaven.
Resist him?
God will protect you and preserve you.
You don't understand. I need no protection. This is one of the sons of God who desires me.
But think, Bethiah. Is this kind of marriage arrangement of God? Are not rather these angels who have not kept their original position going out after flesh for unnatural use? How can this be pleasing to God?
You cannot destroy for me this destiny that has come to be mine. Perhaps the son that will be born to me by my angelic husband will even prove to be the seed promised by Jehovah in Eden.
Take care, Bethiah, that in your desperation to convince yourself of the rightness of your course, you might be found following in the path of Eve,
No.
who also wanted to live a life of her own making, yet lost everything.
Oh, no.
And who said, when she gave birth to Cain, her firstborn, "Look, I have produced a man with the aid of Jehovah." But did it turn out well with her son? Did he not bring death to his brother rather than life to all
You're a
mankind?
wicked man, Noah. You speak nothing but bad concerning the people.
Don't be misled, Ruhama. The seed of Jehovah's promise in Eden will indeed come, and will bring blessings to all who fear God. But he must come in Jehovah's way. Put your trust in Jehovah
Come,
and don't...
Bethiah, my dear. Don't take to heart what Noah has said. We'll eat and drink and be joyful. No one knows what tomorrow will accomplish.
I'll not listen to you, Noah. I'll not listen. I'll not listen.
Oh, the poor child. What a foolish, fatal decision she's made.
And what of you? Oh,
Every word you've spoken is true, Noah. But as for me, I don't know. I don't know.
May peace come to be upon your house.
And may you too have peace, Bethiah. Please take your rest here. Is all well?
Oh, yes. My father Bela is doing better now that I am back home with him. He tells me now he never wanted me to marry one of the sons of God. But he had no choice. Neither did I. Really. You know that, don't you?
Well, Noah spoke of it just this morning. He said, what has been done is done. But now that your angelic husband has taken another wife, will you continue living with your father?
Yes, he needs me. Of course, I have my two fine sons, Gibor and Nephil, though Gibor is usually away. His father has need of him.
But Bethiah, your sons Gibor and Nephil are among the men of renown. Doesn't it disturb you that they're feared so?
Why do you say that? It's true that all the children of the sons of God are giants among men. But the people don't fear them. They simply recognize their superhuman qualities.
How then do you account for the many acts of violence that are occurring? The people are fearful.
It isn't the men of renown, or my sons, that are responsible, but if the people go unrestrained, what can they do? Oh, here comes your son Shem. I'd rather not talk to anyone. I'll go. May you have peace.
And may peace accompany you, Bethiah.
Was that not Bethiah leaving as I came around the house?
Yes, Shem, it was.
How does she feel now that her angelic husband has put her out and taken another wife?
I fear the experience has not brought her closer to Jehovah. Noah had hoped that perhaps...
Has Father returned yet from offering his sacrifice?
Not yet. He's gone unusually long this time.
Perhaps he's found someone with a listening ear. Father is a wonderful example of one who fears Jehovah. The people all know him, but few will pay him much attention.
Shem, did you know that Eldad was robbed last night?
Yes, we heard about it in the city this morning. Ham and Japheth stopped by to see him on our way home. They should be here soon.
It's frightening to hear these things so often. Noah says the whole earth is ruined in the sight of God.
It's true. The earth is filled with violence, Mother. Yet the people continue to eat and to drink and rejoice in their own way of life.
Well, the people are fearful, Shem, but they pay little attention unless they themselves are the objects of violence.
But I can't ignore it.
You've seen no violence in yourself, have you?
Well, it's true, but Noah said Jehovah himself examines the righteous one as well as the wicked one. And anyone loving violence, Jehovah certainly hates.
Those clothing themselves with violence, who come near me or what is mine, will find their judgment speedily.
Take care, Ham, that their violent acts do not make of you a man of violence also, and bring upon yourself a just recompense. Now, Ham, don't ignore the counsel of our Father. When danger threatens, the wise man takes warning. And in the face of violence, he will take his departure. Nothing is to be gained by returning violence with violence, nor reviling with reviling. Our Father doesn't hold back from preaching the righteousness of God. Nor should we lack the courage to do so. But Noah will not cause a deliberate aggravation, nor will he antagonize anyone, even the wicked, without just cause.
But what can we do if we're threatened with harassment? The sons of God and their offspring, the men of renown, are all around us.
We're no physical match for men of violence, whether they be men of renown or those who follow them and uphold them. As Noah has so often warned us, avoid them. Keep away from their company. We have no need at any time to...
Mother, and you, Shem, and Japheth, and Ham. At last Jehovah has answered our prayers. At last Jehovah has expressed his indignation because all flesh has ruined its way on the earth. And hear this. Jehovah has said to me, the end of all flesh has come before me.
Of all flesh?
Because the earth is full of violence because of them. And here I am bringing them to ruin together with the earth.
Certainly Jehovah doesn't mean everything.
Hear further what he's to do, and what he told me to do. He's commissioned me to build an ark.
An ark?
And all of us are to go into it.
All of us?
Into
And
an ark?
take in with us male and female of every living creature of every sort of flesh. 2 of each kind.
You mean 2 of every living creature upon the earth?
Flying creatures?
And domestic animals?
And all moving animals of the ground?
According to their kinds. 2 of each will go in.
But Father, do you know what size such an ark must be?
Of course. Jehovah has given me the proportions.
Why, there are hundreds of different kinds of animals and birds.
And they would have to eat. They would need food.
That would take an ark of tremendous size.
I know it, my son. Nevertheless, it is Jehovah's will.
But tell me, my father, why is it that we need an ark? And why must we all go into it? Our family, and all the animals and birds.
Because Jehovah has said he is going to bring a deluge of waters upon the earth.
A deluge?
To cover the earth. To bring to ruin all flesh in which the force of life is active.
But Father, it would take years to build such an ark.
It will indeed. And we have no time to lose.
And where is all this water to come from, so that it will cover the earth?
It will rain water from heaven until no flesh is left upon the earth.
You said Jehovah gave you the proportion of the ark?
Yes, he did.
What is its size?
It is to have 3 stories, and it is to be 300 cubits in length, 50 cubits in width and 30 cubits in height.
300 cubits inland. And when must it be finished?
The limit was not given, but Jehovah must have in mind his own appointed time.
As for me and my wife, we'll join in the work.
Even so.
We too will build with you, Father.
And you, Ham?
It is Jehovah's will.
Even so.
So be it. See now, here is the way it is to be.
I don't think I ever realized before what a shock that must have been to Noah and his family to receive such a tremendous assignment.
To think of making provision for every kind of animal and bird,
And not overlooking even one little creature.
or the shyest and most insignificant bird.
And to know all their feeding habits. And arrange provisions for them all, each one according to its own amount of food.
And all in addition to just the physical labor of actually constructing the ark.
Noah must have been a real organizer. And a man of tireless energy.
Besides having zeal and unshakable faith. But you know, Brother Shepherd, I had no idea he had so much on which to build a strong faith. That would certainly make the rest of the people in his day responsible, right?
Yes, indeed, Stella. Remember, that's what Paul said in Hebrews 11:7. And through this faith, he condemned the world.
Especially with Noah as such a zealous preacher of righteousness, constantly holding out to them the promises of God and warning them of the consequences of ungodliness.
That's just like it is today, isn't it? There's so much on which to build a strong faith. It's no wonder God is going to condemn those who go right on living out their narrow little lives
Yes.
and taking no note of the grand work of Jehovah that's being done according to his purpose.
I'll bet the building on the ark turned out to be even a bigger job than they had anticipated. I can't get over all the planning and work involved, even though Jehovah may have given them dimensions and so on.
Yes, we can believe it would tax Noah's organizing ability
And his ingenuity.
And his determination.
and stand as a record of his dedication.
Bless our day's activity, that the work of our hands may be pleasing to you, and that we may do all your will in the preparing of the ark for the saving of many souls. Keep us free from the enemy, and our hearts devoted to the commission we have received at your hand. Amen.
So be it. Jehovah has blessed us with much to do.
And has prospered the work of
Full
our hands.
size of the ark is beginning to take form
And
now.
it's so much larger than I'd even expected.
We could put this whole house in it many times over.
And still have room for all the animals.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ham, did you return the small tools to my pouch last evening?
No, I completed the tenons on the last two supports for the rafters and put them in my pouch under the bench by the tree. Here, I'll get them for you.
Come, Japheth. We'll join Shem and Ham outside. we'd best discuss the architectural plans before we begin our work. Here, my sons, let me show you. Today we must begin to close in the side walls of the building from the floor of the ark up to the rafters of the ceiling of the first story. But first, Japheth, the beams of resinous wood are to be secured upon the rows of pillars that have been set in place, each row with its paneling to mark the separation of the compartments and to serve as supports for the beams of the second story. Shem, you and Ham must see to the entrance of the ark that will be put in its side. The doorposts are to be squared with a frame here, even as we make provision for it in the framing of the exterior wall of the building. Now, as for my part, I'll prepare the door itself with its pivots.
We have only tar enough prepared for this day's work, and one more.
Yes, I must arrange for the women to see to it. Meanwhile, the three of you can begin your work. Mother! Mother! And you too, my daughters.
You called?
We'll need more tar for overlaying the wood. I'd have you begin the preparing of it after the noon meal. Or if you finish the regular morning tasks earlier, you could begin then.
As you say, Noah.
May you have peace, Noah.
And may you have peace, Hull.
Shem, Ham, and Japheth are working early.
No, the sun has been up for some time, and we have much to do.
Why, yes, the ark. I would speak to you about the building work, Noah.
Oh, have you determined at last to join us in its construction?
Oh, no, my brother. Not that I disapprove of it myself, not at all. It's just that...
It's only that you still can't believe that Jehovah will wipe men whom he's created off the surface of the ground.
Oh, I know you're convinced of it, Noah, and I respect you for your convictions. But you and your sons have spent so much time and effort on the building of the ark. Well, some are beginning to wonder what you really do intend to do with the building. It's so tremendously large, so immovable looking.
But you and they all know the reason for its being constructed.
Why, I know, Noah. Everybody knows you're preaching about a coming flood of waters, and many have seen the ark and marveled at its tremendous size and its construction. Nothing like it has ever been attempted before, and you're so devoted to the work. But I'm only telling you what some are saying. You can understand how they might feel, Noah.
Do you think God approves of the violence and the badness of heart they display?
I know there are many things that could be different, should be different, and many of us are grieved at heart to see it. But what can we do? We must make the most of it. Live our lives as best we can. You know I fear Jehovah. But years of work in building this huge ark, it seems so impractical.
You say you fear the true God, Hull. Then think of this. You know of our forefather Adam.
Everyone knows of Adam.
And of how he acted disobediently toward his father, the true God. And of how he was put out of the Garden of Eden on the very day he acted rebelliously in defiance of God's commandment to him.
Yes?
And did not Adam eat bread in the sweat of his face until he returned to the ground from which he was taken? And are we not under the curse of the ground on his account? And has not all this come about as a result of the judgment of God executed against Adam because of the sin in which he acted rebelliously against his God and Father?
Yes, Noah, everything you say is true.
And what of Cain and Abel, my brother? Did not Abel in faith offer to God a sacrifice of greater worth than Cain, through which faith he had witness borne to him that he was righteous? And did not Cain, moved with envy, rise up against his brother and slaughter him? And for the sake of what did he slaughter him? Because his own works were wicked, and those of his brother were righteous. Tell me, Hull, what did Jehovah, Abel's God, do to Cain? Tell me, Hull. What judgment did God pronounce against Cain because of his violent deed?
I know, Noah. I know.
He said, listen, your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed in banishment from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood at your hand. When you cultivate the ground, it will not give you back its power. A wanderer and a fugitive you will become in the earth. Did God's judgment against Cain prove to be true, Hull? You know the answer, Hull. Can the words of the prophet Enoch, then, be less true? Can we deny God's purpose to execute judgment against all, and to convict all the ungodly concerning all their ungodly deeds that they did in an ungodly way, and concerning all the shocking things that ungodly sinners spoke against him?
If only I could be sure, Noah. The way you speak, you would almost persuade me. Yet...
Then think well on the words Jehovah has spoken to me. And as for me, here I am bringing the deluge of waters upon the earth, to bring to ruin all flesh in which the force of life is active from under the heavens. Everything that is in the earth will expire. Now, Hull, the only way to be preserved alive is to join in the work of building the ark and go into the ark with me and my family.
If Jehovah's judgment is so urgent, Noah, why has he waited so long to act? If Enoch were indeed a true prophet of God, or you, Noah, why would God not long ago have rid the earth of the ungodly, as you call them?
Ruhema, must you speak so disrespectfully?
Tell me, Noah, where is this promised deluge of his? Why, from the day Enoch fell asleep in death, all things are continuing exactly as from creation's beginning.
Ruhema, it is Jehovah
For
against whom...
years, Noah, you've talked of the deluge that will wipe men whom God has created off the surface of the ground. From the time you began to build that building, I have had a daughter who has grown and is married. And before you finish it, she will have a daughter grown and married. Would you have us stop living until your job is done?
Don't tempt God, Ruhema. If it's answers you honestly seek to your questions, I'll stay, gladly, and speak to you. But if it's only to ridicule that you've come, then I must leave and be about Jehovah's business.
Answers? Who would seriously listen to anything you have to say? Why, Noah, the people are laughing at you. Laughing! If the very ground were to open up, and the waters gush forth, and all the rivers of the earth were to flow by here, they couldn't lift that gigantic building 1 cubit off the ground. You and your family and all the animals. Never. Never.
Has she no respect for lordship or fear of Jehovah?
Oh, the patience of Jehovah.
Is it really true, Noah, that God has told you and all your household to go into the ark? And that he told you to take of every clean beast by sevens, and of every beast that is not clean by twos, the size flying creatures? That you were to take all of them into the ark also?
Look for yourself, Hull. Already they are in the ark and being settled in their places. Can you not see what Shem, Ham, and Japheth are doing right now?
Yes, but...
It was 7 days ago that Jehovah said, "For in just 7 days more I am making it rain upon the earth, 40 days and 40 nights. This is the 7th day."
Rain? For 40 days and 40 nights? But you've been speaking of rain for many years now, Noah.
And now Jehovah's time limit has expired.
You seem so sure of that, Noah.
Why should I not be, Hull? It is Jehovah's word. But for all these years, and right up till now, the people have been eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, and still do not know that we are entering into the ark. The time has arrived. It is almost the hour. Can you not yet manifest that faith in God necessary to take this step to the saving of your soul, you and your family?
I believe you, Noah. It must be so. But, how can you... I could never... I don't know. Perhaps I will yet join you.
There is no more time. You must go with us now. For 7 days we have been moving everything into the ark. This is the last day of the 7. Even now we're making final preparations.
Please, Hall, come with us. The time is so short.
I don't know. I don't know. You seem so sure, Noah. How can you be? But going into the ark like this and shutting everything else out, it's so final. Suppose it doesn't rain. What will all the people say then? No, I cannot.
Mother, have our daughters bring the rest of the things under the tree by the door.
As you say, Noah. Father wants the sacks under the tree.
As you say, Mother.
Where is your mother?
Inside the house.
What can I do? What can I do?
Matthias, is that you? Why are you crying so?
What do I have to live for? Never did I think I would see this day.
What's happened?
I have no one left. No one. No place to turn. Or go.
What do you mean, Matthias? Has not your son Nephil lived with you since your father Bela died?
For several years. But now he's put me out.
Put you out?
Drove me out. He doesn't want me anymore. I'm old. Useless. How could he? It's so cruel. So heartless. My son.
Oh, my heart bleeds for you, Matthias. I only wish you had come to me like this years ago. But now, would you even now come into the ark with us to the preserving of your life?
No, I cannot. I cannot. Nephil would be very angry. I dare not.
But you said...
No, it's too late. Oh, maybe that's Nephil now.
The poor, frightened, frustrated soul. What a wasted life she's lived in her dream. If she only knew how soon all would be over.
Is everything ready? Quickly.
This is the last.
Come, my sons and daughters. Take the things you have there and we'll go. Quickly.
On this very day Noah went in, and Shem and Ham and Japheth, Noah's sons, and the wife of Noah, and the 3 wives of his sons with him, into the ark. They and every wild beast according to its kind, and every domestic animal according to its kind, and every moving animal, and every flying creature according to its kind. And they kept going to Noah inside the ark. After that, Jehovah shut the door behind him.
Since Jehovah shut the door of the ark.
Even so.
Yet Jehovah said, in just 7 days more, I'm making it rain upon the earth.
Even so.
And this is the 7th day.
And the day is well spent.
It is. Even so. But Jehovah's word is certain to be carried out.
We don't doubt the word of Jehovah, Father.
It's just that
Yes, my son?
we've never seen it rain.
What will it be like, Father?
No one can foresee that. Jehovah has said that he would cause it to rain for 40 days and 40 nights.
The waters must certainly pour down from the heavens, even as Jehovah has said.
Do you think we'll have much longer to wait?
The day is well spent. It must certainly come soon. But we are ready. The commission that God has given us is finished. The ark has been built according to all that God has spoken. Every kind of animal is here with us. And the birds and the moving creatures, all here, inside this one building.
And food for all. For them and for us. For many days.
Even so. Jehovah has brought us thus far. He certainly will be able to carry us through the remainder of his way according to his purpose. May the sacrifice that we offer this morning prove to be acceptable to him. And may he now fulfill his purpose toward all mankind through me and through you, my sons, and your wives.
Water! Coming like a wall!
The doors of the heavens have been opened!
Your word has proved to be true. Salvation belongs to Jehovah. May Jehovah be praised.
And the deluge went on for 40 days upon the earth. And the waters kept increasing and began carrying the ark, and it was floating high above the earth. Thus Jehovah wiped out every existing thing that was on the surface of the ground, from man to beast, to moving animal, to flying creature of the heavens, and they were wiped off the earth. And only Noah and those who were with him in the ark kept surviving.
My, what an experience that must have been.
Only 8 people out of the whole world, all together with all the animals.
And not another human left alive. That did take faith, didn't it, Brother Shepherd? Just like Paul said.
A faith that condemned the world around him, all those of his generation.
But look, Brother Shepherd, Noah was told ahead of time that it would be just 7 days more, and then it would start to rain. Do you think we'll be told something like that?
No, not really. There seems to be no practical need for it, as was true, of course, in Noah's case. He'd have to know, wouldn't he, to get all the animals into the ark.
But what about the sons of God, Brother Shepherd? I know the Nephilim were all destroyed along with mankind and the animals.
Well, they dematerialized. That is, they left the human forms that they had assumed.
But they couldn't go back to God's organization.
No, they'd left their assignments. They were thrown into Tartarus, not a place, but a condition, out of God's favor and in darkness as to God's purposes, and no longer able to materialize again.
And they're now the demons that are determined today to destroy the world of mankind.
You know, Brother Shepherd, when we realize what prompted them to leave God's righteous service, I mean their unnatural passion for women, it's no wonder that sex and all its perverted extremes has played such a big part in man's degeneration down through the centuries.
That's so true, Stella. And we never want to ignore the influence of the demons in the world today. We must never forget that the devil is walking about like a roaring lion, seeking to devour someone. Now, John said that the whole world lies in the power of the wicked one. The minute we get out of the healthful, spiritually invigorating atmosphere of Jehovah's direction and organization, we begin to come within the influence of Satan and his spiritually diseased demon angels. It's poisonous, and any prolonged exposure is fatal. We must avoid any contact with it like the plague or the pestilence that it is.
But how can we avoid it, Brother Shepherd? It's all around us. On television, in the movies, the newspapers, in advertising, even in clothing fads and hair grooming.
In business, the schools, in every social activity, in fact, in every contact we have with the world and its people.
All of which emphasizes how important it is to us to separate ourselves from the world just as completely as possible. But another point we want to remember is that Noah and his family were protected by their faith and by keeping busy in the building of the ark, moved by godly fear. We can truly say that God's people today are enjoying a spiritual paradise.
That's true, all right.
But each one of us is involved on a personal basis.
How is that?
Well, it's true that we're all dedicated and baptized Christians. But is that all it takes to survive the end of this system of things?
I don't think so.
By no means. In order for us to survive, just as Noah and his family in the ark survived, we must remain in the spiritual paradise, in the ark, as it were. Personally, we need to develop the fruits of the Spirit, thus contributing to the spiritual paradise, along with all the other contributions of kingdom preaching and so on.
I see. So, if we lose our spirituality...
By getting weighed down with even the everyday things of life...
We're beginning to take ourselves out of the spiritual paradise.
Just as if Noah or any of his family had left off building the ark.
Or failing to go in and remain there.
We certainly are involved, aren't we?
That puts a heavy responsibility on us.
Yes, the lesson we have to learn here, then, is this. We can be completely separated from this world, take no part in it. And that's what most of God's people today have done.
That's right.
We can live clean, moral lives. And only a very small percentage are disfellowshipped for loose conduct or some form of pornea.
That's true.
We can have nothing to do with the violence that's destroying the earth and the peace of mankind. Yet in spite of all of this, and while we're still within God's organization, that is in a nominal way, we can still begin to lose out.
By becoming complacent, right? I mean, maybe getting discouraged if the end of the system is prolonged a little.
That's right. Or in any other way, taking no note of the end's rapid approach. This is no time to settle down into a routine of life as though it were to continue on indefinitely. It won't. We're living in the time of the end, and time is fast running out. But now, Stella, do you think you have the answer to your question?
I sure do, Brother Shepherd. I really wasn't worried whether Armageddon's coming right away or not, but it certainly is reassuring to have such an example of faith as Noah.
And such wise and loving counsel as that of Jesus. What an incentive he's given us to keep our senses and be watchful.
And to go on building with him, making our small contribution to the radiantly glorious spiritual paradise that will be the means of preserving us alive through a world's end. Like Noah, the faithful preacher of righteousness.